Hello guys, I'm Ramon Gamez. I am a GEARUP tutor at Bel Air Middle School, and today I will be talking to you guys about elements and the atoms. So, just a small overview about it. Elements are comprised of atoms, or well, more like elements are atoms, but in a very, very singular particle. So, like, let's take for example a screw. This screw is comprised of iron. So if you were to break this into very small particles, you would end up with the atom, um, which is basically the smallest part of that element. And it will have certain properties like a specific amount of protons, neutrons, and electrons, which at some point will interact with other elements to create different substances. With this said, let's get on to the video.
Okay guys, so to start off with the elements. So basically right here, this big rock is carbon, this is silver, this is iron, this one over here is lead, and gold. So these are only 5 of the many elements that we have in Earth, or you could say in the entire universe, which have been discovered. Um, Elements are used for everything. The elements could be, I guess, could be considered the building blocks of not life, but of materials. Okay. So basically, they're what they can be broken down into smaller parts, which would end up being atoms, and these atoms would still have the same properties as these elements that come in chunks. So in order to see these elements, you have the periodic table. So the periodic table lists the elements as like in single atoms. So for example, right here we have the carbon atom, which has an atomic number of 6, which actually determines the number of protons the atom will have. Um, so a proton is basically the thing that defines the element. So if you have 6 protons, you will have a carbon atom. If you have 7 protons, you will have a nitrogen atom. Um, Moving on to neutrons, you can have more neutrons. So if you were to change the number of neutrons on an element, you would have an isotope, but that would be getting more into a higher level of chemistry. Um, and the electrons, if you have a neutral charge, you will basically have the same number of protons and electrons. If you have a positive charge, you will have less electrons than protons, and if you have a negative charge, you will have more electrons than protons. Um, So this is called a Bohr model of an atom. It's not really how an atom looks, because to understand how an atom looks and how the electrons work and how it actually works, you would have to get kind of like into quantum physics, which is very advanced and very complicated. So for the ease of it, let's just look at this kind of atom. So right here on the outer parts, you have the electrons. As you can see, you have 6. And in the inside, which is called the nucleus, you will have 6 protons and 6 neutrons, making it a carbon-12 atom, which is the most basic that you will see. The next one would be gold. As you can see, it has 79 electrons and 79 protons, making it neutral, and 118 neutrons.
Okay, guys, that is all I have for today. Remember that in the periodic table, the atoms are listed in order from the number of protons that they have. So basically, it's going to go from 1, which is hydrogen, to helium, which is an atomic number of 2, and so on and so forth. Um, just remember that the number of protons and electrons will usually be the same in a neutral atom, and the number of neutrons can actually change depending on the isotope that you have. Um, Thanks for watching.